Hello, welcome to our podcast. Hey, I'm Jim Edenfield, Invest Success. I'm here with my partner, Tim Emery, and a special guest today, Miss Shauna Green. She can save you that green with insurance way. On your insurance, she can save you. Today, we're going to just talk about a little bit about Invest Success, investing, and we got Shauna in here to talk about insurance. If you're doing flipping, you need the right insurance. You need the right coverage. You need to be protected. So how do you want to start out with that, Tim? Where do you go from there?
Hey, I think we got to talk insurance on fix and flips because we've got Shauna here, so that's the obvious place to start. But Shauna, tell us, why do you need insurance, number one, and why do you need insurance on fix and flips, number two?
You need insurance, and it better be the right insurance and good insurance for fix and flips, because you are completely redoing homes in most cases. Sometimes you're doing things that are structural. It is not the typical project for a home, so you're going to have a builder's risk policy.
And what does builder's risk really cover?
Builder's risk is going to cover the project. It has a lot more flexibility in the sense that we are also able to protect the loan value in addition to the project value, which is something very unique to the industry. Typical homeowner's policy doesn't really function that way. So you're going to be able to satisfy your lender's requirements. With that being said, you need to also be careful because a lot of the lenders will require a year policy, and several companies will not give you premium back even if you finish your project in 3 months. So work with an insurance agent who knows those policies and can help you make things budget friendly as well.
Okay, so we're doing a fix and flip. Let's say we're just doing a cosmetic flip. Do we need builder's risk? If we're just taking out toilets, putting toilets back in, we're taking out vanities, putting vanities back in, we're taking out flooring. We're not doing really modifying the building itself.
So yes and no. It depends on what your lender's requirements are. If something goes wrong and your lender is requiring you to have a builder's risk policy, you're in breach of your contract. However, if that's not there, then there's a little bit more flexibility.
And that means that if you're doing a cash deal, you don't necessarily need builder's risk, do you? Can you save some money somewhere else?
I mean, I guess it means you know how much is in your reserve, and if you are loaded, who cares what you have? But if you are going to be hurting if something goes wrong, I would recommend having insurance.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, usually when they say I need insurance, people go to WW big box insurance, the big giant names.
Yeah.
Are they really going to give me the best coverage? I know they can probably give me the cheapest product, but am I going to be covered completely, properly?
It's a crapshoot. Maybe, if you're lucky, but chances are no, because they don't understand the project that you're doing. And a lot of times you yourself don't fully understand what you're needing for insurance.
Okay, now you're a little bit different. You're not a big box insurance company. You're an independent broker. Is that correct?
I am. I work as a broker and an agent, and so I can do it both ways. I am able to shop with several different companies. I'm different in the sense that this is the thing I love to do, and so I know a lot about these policies. You want to find somebody who does. And the way that you can know that they do is they're going to ask you some really good questions. They're going to understand your verbiage. They're going to know what an SOW is, right? And
what's an SOW?
Scope of work.
Ding, ding, ding.
And I learned it in your class. I knew all of the initials.
Well, you've been in our class, so you've probably overheard this phrase we use in any kind of service you're going out to look for: insurance agents, contractors. What kind of person do we look for?
Investor friendly.
Investor friendly. Somebody
friendly.
Understands our language. Somebody understands what we're doing, how we're doing it, and why we're doing it. Now, what makes you an investor friendly agent?
I grew up with a property investor. My grandpa, I helped him with a lot of his projects. That's the first way that I was introduced. But I'm also at the meetings. I'm at the summits. I'm there with the people, and I'm getting the lowdown on what their projects are. It's also one of my primary focuses. If it's not their primary focus, they don't know how to do it. I've been in rooms with other agents who have purported that is what they do, and after talking with them for a while, I know they don't. They just don't have the ins and outs.
Right.
You have to be there. It moves quickly.
Yeah. And I know one of our students went to for some insurance, and they would say, hey, I need this for the life of my flip, which sometimes could go up to 6 months or longer.
Right.
And you were like, wait a minute, stop. You need this amount of coverage for this period of time. After that, you can get a cheaper policy. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, or you can extend it. Builder's risk is very flexible. We can start with 3 months, build up to 6 and up to 12. That way you're not stuck paying that whole premium because, like I said, sometimes it's non-refundable.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty amazing stuff there. What do you suggest that people do when they find that property the first time? Do they call you instantly once they get it under contract, or can they wait a little bit?
I think they should call me before they even find the property. I've had interviews with your clients. You've sent them to me, which was awesome. So that I was able to kind of give them the run through of what they should be looking for. That way, when they find the property, they can ask the realtor or the appraiser or whomever they're working with the details. One really good reason is because if you know when the plumbing, the electric, the heating has all been updated in the roof, it's very possible I can get you a policy that is $1,000 or $2,000 cheaper. So.
One thing I like about Shauna, I've talked to a lot of insurance agents, and a lot of them say, how much coverage do you want? What's the address? And that's it. Mm-hmm. I've done a couple different deals or projects with Shauna, and I've talked to her, and she goes through like a 50-point questionnaire with me. She's wanting to make sure, drill down, that she gets the best package for us, and saves us money, and we're protected along the way. It's not always about the cheapest. I always say cheapest is rarely the best. So,
mm-hmm. Yeah, especially with insurance.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Shauna, you said your grandpa was an investor. What was he doing back then, and is that how you got in the investor insurance world?
Yeah, it is actually. So I actually was one of the first house hackers. We had a single mom who lived downstairs from us, and my grandpa, he had student housing, houses with students in it, and he had multiple properties throughout Boulder. I remember painting a triplex, and Grandpa wanted to show us hard work, so I got to do the whole thing with a paintbrush. So, I've done the down and dirty work, but I've also seen the benefit that our family had in owning doors, where it helped generations.
That's really cool. So you're kind of leaning on your grandpa's information, and you had the rich dad poor dad situation where you had the rich dad help build you up.
Yeah, I am, and actually that's 100% yes.
That's really good.
And she's, like she said earlier, she's been through our classes, and she's always contributing in the class, and she's a wealth of knowledge. She doesn't just do real estate. You also do life. You got the full gamut, correct?
Yeah, I do. And one of the things that I can be beneficial for your students, and have been, I have a long list of contractors. And so if that's ever a need, I can give you 5 or 6 names. You can choose who's best for you. But
yeah. And go ahead.
Yeah, I think referrals in this business is really important, and being able to have confidence in the people you're talking to that know what they're doing is really an important part of it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep. And like I say, she's been part of our class. She's one of our alumni, and we love this lady to death. I
love you guys.
We love her on a personal level and a professional. We've got a boot camp coming up in January in Denver, and she's going to be there, and she's a sponsor. And she's also going to present about a 30-minute class on getting the right coverage, making sure your coverage. So we invite you to come to our boot camp in Denver. It's going to be at the Marriott Courtyard in January. We've cut our prices down, and we've added content. So you're not getting a watered down boot camp, but we've taken all of our classes, we've compacted them in. We're going to do 2 afternoons of field days. We're going to do a special happy hour Thursday night. But all of that, if you're out of town, you can come in for $19.99. It includes your hotel, your food, all the classes, the road trips, everything. And if you're in Denver and you're going to go home every night, we've got it for $14.99. You can't beat it. It's a 3-day, all-inclusive, intensive training. We just did it in Mobile, and we had great raves about that and results. Come join us. Come see Shauna, she'll be there for most of the weekend, hopefully.
I will be. And I'll just add, I have a lot of clients who do fix and flips, and I see a huge difference in quality with the people who have done fix and flips with you guys, and also with the sale prices. So you guys teach really well and help find the neighborhoods.
And speaking of that, while we're doing it, we're going to offer you, if you were watching this podcast, we're extending a secret code just for you. Not a code, but a secret discount. If you'll sign up for our mentorship program, which is a 12-month hands-on, face-to-face training program, we meet 3 times a month for classes. We have a weekly coaching calls. We're on a short leash with you. You can call us, text us during normal business hours. We'll give you a $1,500 discount on the membership. Just when you contact us, say, hey, I saw your podcast. I want to save $1,500. $1,500.
Santa's being nice.
I almost got fired right there. The looks Tim gave me. Not enough coffee this morning.
Maybe too much coffee this morning.
At drive-through Denver, I was going to be here early. I forgot a certain hat. I had to turn around and go back. On the way down here, I kind of lost my cherub-like demeanor this morning, so I'm trying to recover. So what else, Shauna? Any golden tidbits as we wrap today up?
Yeah, I have a golden tidbit. Get to know your contractor and get to know his history. Some of the things that you might want to know for your insurance is you need to have his name and address available, but if he has a website, because your underwriter is going to want to see that. Some of the companies want to know if they have claims within the last 10 years and how many projects they do a year, because they're looking for legit people to be working with you.
I think it's great stuff. Thank you, Shauna.
You're welcome.
For more information on our boot camp, our education program, and our happy hours that we do twice a month in our breakfast club, John Fisher's Breakfast Club, that's been going on for over 20 years, go to invest-success.com. Invest-success.com. We hope to see you soon at one of our many events.